Recording in progress.
And are we?
I'm going to do it.
You're doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Then I guess I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Operations Oversight Committee to order.
I will go ahead and take roll.
Very good.
Okay, thank you, Chair Harris. This meeting is being conducted as a virtual and in-person meeting, so I will do a roll call of the trustees to confirm attendance. Ms. Ginsburg?
Yes.
Mr. Razzo?
Present.
Ms. Langton?
Here.
Mr. Root? Ms. Fessler?
Here.
Mr. Oakham? Mr. Green? Mr. Robbins? I see you in the back. Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Kehoe?
Present.
And Mr. Harris?
Present.
Staff participating in the meeting include the following: Acting CEO Louis Lugo, AEOs JJ Popovich and Laura Guglielmo, Chief Counsel Stephen Rice. Other staff and managers participating include Kathy Delano, Ganesh Papanpali, Chad Arande, Zia Fatemi, Shanita Peterson. Trustees, please use the raise your hand option to be placed in the queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute your mic until you're ready to speak. And now we may proceed with the agenda.
Thank you. And do we have any, we don't have any
No,
under the
2449.
2449? Okay, very good. With that, we'll move on to approval of minutes of the September 3rd meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Okay. Mr. Razzo,
Aye.
Ms. Langton, Mr. Moore, Mr. Kehoe,
Aye.
and Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes unanimously.
Okay, I have no notice of anyone wishing to address the committee. So we'll move on to number 5, which is reports, operations briefing.
Good morning, Mr.
Good
Chair
morning.
and members of the committee and trustees. It's great to see you this morning. Afternoon now. Well, no, still morning.
No, we're still
There we
morning.
go.
We're still morning.
Awesome.
We're doing good.
Well, we are excited to share that we have a new and improved format for our operations briefing. Bonnie and Ali listened to feedback from hopefully all of you, as well as many of us here in LACERA, and redesigned the document to provide the trustees a simple, digestible snapshot of organization-wide projects and initiatives, as well as our process improvement initiatives. And although most of these projects involve technology, not all of them do. So organization-wide projects and initiatives impact multiple divisions or the entire organization and support our mission to produce, protect, and provide the promised benefits, but aren't necessarily projects, are not the same projects that are included in our strategic plan. And we'll be talking about those later in this meeting. In a moment, Kathy Delano will highlight a couple of our organization-wide projects. Business improvement projects are more focused on improvements to specific day-to-day processes and operations, and JJ Popovich will be talking more about those. But before I hand the presentation off to Kathy and JJ, I wanted to explain some of the changes and why we thought they were important. So you'll see, we can go to slide 3, please. Thanks. You can see that the format is different. So the new format provides trustees, our plan sponsor, and our members, basically our stakeholders, a brief summary of the 6 things you should really know about every project. The objective, what are we trying to accomplish? Progress, what phase the project is in and where we expect it to be. Budget, how much do we budget for this project in the current fiscal year? Note that that's not the total cost of the initiative of the project, but it is, we are beginning to track the project by year so that we can manage to the budget as well. Who's responsible for the project and who's sponsoring the project? So the lead and the sponsor. And then a key update. What's happening? What do you need to know? What's changed? And it's no longer, the complete history of the project. So the idea is that trustees would be kind of following month to month. And then lastly, when do we expect that project to be completed? So every month, JJ, Kathy, and I, and in the future, Ganesh Papanpali, will be highlighting a couple of the projects that have hit significant milestones, or that one of you has asked us to go on a deeper dive on. So, but today the team will be, well, any day, we'll always be ready to answer any questions that any of you have on any of the projects. So we believe this approach strikes the correct balance between transparency and accountability, giving you the right amount of data to stay informed, but not so much that it becomes overwhelming and meaningless. We encourage your engagement and questions, and your questions are always welcome. So with that, I'll pass the presentation on to Kathy Delano, who will talk about our organization-wide initiatives.
Great.
Thank you, Laura. If we could go to the next slide, please. So I want to highlight just two of the projects and maybe go back one slide. Slide number 4. That's it. Perfect. The first project that I want to talk about is the Disability Retirement AI solution. So this project is budgeted for this year, and we do expect to complete it this year. It will kick off in January. So what this project, the significance of the project is that it will help the disability retirement team with the applications. It will turn some tasks that take hours into tasks that take minutes. So it's significant. The other thing that's significant about it is it's AI. So, you know, obviously we've talked about AI a lot. We're maturing as an organization with our AI approach. So we have an AI policy. We have AI governance through our ISC committee. So our information security team monitors the use of AI on our network, and they also catalog the use of AI. So we've rolled out Copilot. We have some applications that have AI built into them, but this is the first time that we've come to the ITCC and said, we want an AI solution that does this. So it's exciting from that perspective. What the solution will do is it will automate the indexing of the medical reports. So this is what they spend hours doing. So it'll streamline that process and it will improve the accuracy. And it ideally will integrate with Sedgwick and also with our case management system. So a lot to look forward to. Our peers at OSERS are using a solution similar to what we're looking for. So we know it's possible, and we'll be looking forward to launching that project in January. The second one that I want to highlight, I believe, is on slide number 6. If we could move forward. Great, there it is, the third one in the list. So this is the Project Portfolio Management Solution, PPM for short. And we just, when I say we, I mean Admin Services Vendor Management just completed the first draft RFP for this solution. And so we're looking forward to fine tuning that RFP and publishing it. This solution will centralize project management for us. So we have project management tools right now. We have Microsoft Project, we have Jira, but this is this really sits on top of both of those and reports on all projects across the organization. So it's going to really help us align our resources and our effort with the strategic plan. So you know, Bonnie Noli will also be very involved in this, and also the project management office in systems will be very involved in it. It is trending right now in technology. It's trending that organizations have project management offices, and most of them use a PPM tool. So looking forward to that as well. So with that, I think I'll turn it over to JJ. If we can go to slide 8.
Yep, thank you very much. So in support of our strategic plan objectives of surrounding service innovation, compliance and fiscal responsibility and overall fiduciary duties, we're continually looking for ways to deliver our superior member experience, optimize efficiencies, and improve processes or procedures. So continual process improvement relies on a strong commitment to our values of innovation and collaboration. And in short, it takes a village to see meaningful and impactful change occur. So with this in mind, we're continuing our efforts to develop an interconnected ecosystem to support continual improvements. And Kathy's going to walk us through what that ecosystem looks like.
Okay, thanks, JJ. Next slide. Okay, so these are the teams that are working on the projects that we'll be highlighting. So the very first team is Business Solutions. This is a group in the systems division, and they work on all existing software. So think of them as software, but it's existing solutions, such as our pension administration system, our case management system, might be our budget system, our general ledger system. That is their goal. BSI is in quotes or in parentheses there. The work that they receive are called initiatives. So we call them business solution initiatives. That's what the BSI is for. The next group, I think all of you are very familiar. Let's go back to that previous slide. Yeah, I'm going to stay here for a few moments. The next group is the project management office. And again, that's a team in the systems division. They're all project managers and they focus on new technology and projects that span across divisions. So the disability retirement AI solution, that's new technology. So that goes to the PMO. Versus, let's say, the PEPRA FAC business rule change that occurred. That goes to BSI because that's an existing solution that they need to modify to support that new business rule. And then the third team highlighted here is the process management group. And this is a team that's in the benefits division, and they're really responsible for business rules. So they maintain them. For example, the PEPRA FAC business rule that I mentioned, they actually wrote formally what that new business rule is. It's cataloged. It becomes part of our knowledge management, and it also becomes part of our internal operation instructions. And so those are the three teams. You'll be hearing from members of all these teams as we move forward with the new operations briefing. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, JJ.
Thank you very much. So let's go to slide 10. We'll actually be hearing from PMG later on today.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. Successful change management relies on clear focus on what you're hoping to accomplish. And clearly on a project by project basis, we define what the problem is, what the goal is, what success looks like. But overall, it's helpful to have some focus on what to think about as we approach various projects. And a concerted effort to streamline workflows by identifying roadblocks, looking for time sinks that prevent a smooth, efficient delivery of service are two of the aspects that we look at. We also look at saving costs and time. With this in mind, we've defined, as you can see here on the screen, the three key areas that we'll be looking at for every process. So that brings us to what's next in this journey. With over 197 projects in the pipeline, and I think that is a small count, right? I think there's actually a little bit more than that. Along with our commitments to meet strategic priority milestones and objectives, we needed a uniform, objective method for prioritizing what we're allotting our resources to at any given time. So the team is working on a formalized process to look at how we can objectively prioritize projects. As you can see from today's discussions, we're also continuing our efforts to define measurable metrics so that we can be able to measure how well we're accomplishing our goals and moving forward. And with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Anyone have any questions? Go ahead.
Thank you. Going back to the reference to AI and the use of it, when you say it will be used to index medical records, can you give an example of what that means?
Yes. So our disability retirement team receive medical records for a disability application, and they will need, sometimes they're 5,000 pages, and they need to review all 5,000 pages and find the citation for the condition to then add to the case file and eventually go into the board meeting agenda. And so the AI solution will do that for them. So it will automatically index it to the member, to the medical category, and it can look for the citations that are of interest for the agenda.
Okay, so what it will do is go through and it's like a word search kind of thing,
Yeah,
and
it's
then it highlights
yeah.
the
Oh, hi.
area.
Oh,
And the,
here she is.
The expert will answer.
Thanks.
Good morning, trustees.
It's not on. Your turn.
There we go. Can you hear me? Yeah. So the AI solution, what it's going to do is we order records from the TPA, which is our third-party administrator.
Right.
And it's a consolidated file with everything that has transpired in the workers' comp claim. This product is going to go through that file and extract all of the medical records that we use to build our case. It's going to identify, as Kathy mentioned, the different body parts. So we might have a situation where a member's only filing for a right knee.
Mhm.
It's going to be able to go in there and grab all the associated medical records for the right knee and exclude those that we wouldn't need for the case. And it's also going to potentially have some ability to give us some summarization of the medical records, which we hope will allow our investigators to be able to review their cases a little bit faster because now they have a summarization of all the records that are contained in these files. Each file sometimes can be upward to 3 or 4 of these files, right? So we're doing that manually now. Individual people are going through page by page and pulling out fax cover sheets, duplicates, poor quality stuff.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of human involvement in doing that.
Right.
This AI solution is hopefully going to take over that part. We will then repurpose our staff to be more validators to ensure that the AI did what it was supposed to do and we have a complete record. It'll also allow us to identify, I think, missing information faster because the AI solution is also going to give us we call it a medical listing. So it's actually going to print out a listing of all the records it's identified for the case, and we'll be able to identify treatment gaps.
Okay, super. And you said validator, and that was the kind of word I was listening for. I just read 2 or 3 days ago about a lawyer here in the LA area. I don't know, Aileen, maybe you heard this too, but he was fined, I forget, like $10,000 or something. He filed a brief that he claims he wrote it and then ran it through AI. Whether that's true or he just had AI write it, who knows? But it had made up a whole bunch of citations. And so there was a lot of stuff. And then the other side is looking around, well, I don't find this case anywhere. And so I was worried that what we were doing had the potential to create that kind of problem. But if what this particular program is doing is taking our database and pulling information in the form of the individual's medical records, they're not in a position to make anything up. They're just looking through stuff that's already there. And then human eyes are going back and making sure that what was done was correct. And to me, that's the right use of AI. Other uses, at least right now, are fraught with lots of potential concerns. So thank you so much.
Yeah, they call that AI hallucination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think at our BOI thing, they talked about confidently hallucinating. I've
Mhm.
used that term to describe my husband a few times in the last several weeks. And it's a very handy term, in normal conversation, but yeah, thank you.
Trustee Fessler, if I may, I think you raised in a really important point about AI in general, and that's that it is a tool, it's not a replacement for human thought and innovation. And so what we would like to use AI for at LACERA is really to handle much of the mundane aspects. It still needs to be validated. It still needs to be run through, but it's also a risk. It's a risk whether we adopt or use AI or not.
Right.
And so we have to be aware that that's a risk now in doing business. It's a risk for how we get records from other parties. So we need to recognize that it's a tool, but like any tool, it could be misused. And we need to have controls and procedures and policies in place to support that. And so we have some of those in place now, and we look forward to working with this board and on how we can strengthen those and those controls and mitigate some of those risks together.
And if I may, I think we've talked about as well obtaining AI insurance. I don't know if we've talked about that before, haven't we? AI insurance.
I don't know. Have we? That doesn't ring any bells with me.
Okay. I thought we did talk about it, but maybe
Somewhere someone's talking about AI insurance.
right,
in
AI
your presence.
insurance.
Could be. Could be.
We'll look into that. I think it might be part of the overall information security insurance,
Okay.
which we do procure, but we'll
Look into it.
look in. I don't know if that's even available, but we'll look into it.
Right. Like hallucination insurance. Yeah. Very good. Anyone else? Yes, please.
Thank you so much. I'll start with the AI piece. What I'm finding when I go to other agencies and conferences is that the board has to be heavily involved in the AI and the AI policy. So I appreciate that, Laura, that you're going to be bringing them to us. If it was up to me, there would be a committee, an AI committee that oversees, because there is so much risk. We need to ensure that all the AI is aligned with our duty of loyalty and our duty of prudence, and ensures human oversight, like you suggested, that it's transparent, that it's ethical, that people's medical records aren't going to go out to wherever, even other parts of the, office. And I really would like at the next hearing to see if we can create a committee, or I know you say it's part of this committee, but part of the oversight committee, but I just don't feel like, for how far along we are and how fast it's moving, I don't feel like we have any oversight over it, and we need to.
Through the
Go ahead,
chair,
please.
Trustee Langton, if I may, we do have a information security committee comprised of members from all levels of the organization, or I should say divisions. And we do have an AI governance policy, an administrative policy that governs our usage, interaction, and our adoption of AI. To Kathy's point, to Mr. Leno's point, this solution is the first of which we've adopted, and we're bringing it to the committee to ensure that there's a level of awareness and understanding on how we're deploying our, operational capabilities with adopting AI. So we are being very intentional. There is a very structured approach. And when we look at any type of AI functionality, the next iteration you'll probably see is when we adopt the Genesis platform, which is our telephony system. And there's some opportunities to leverage AI in terms of how we interact with our members from a knowledge-based perspective. But any solution, any interaction that we are looking to deploy, you will have a sense of understanding on the platform, the project, what we're working on, and it goes to a thorough process internally as part of the Information Security Committee. If it's the board's appetite to have a separate AI committee, certainly that's the prerogative of the board. But what I would say is I want to ensure that we keep the administrative aspect, within the staff, and not overburden the board with some of the administrative aspects of, operation and what we do on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you. I appreciate that there is a governance committee. There should be one, but I still think it's our responsibility. We are the ones that are responsible for any new use of any AI that does have ethical issues, that does have risks. Like, we haven't talked about the risks today about this new AI. And I don't think this is really the first AI that LACERA uses. It might be the first extreme one. But we've been using AI all along. With our phone calls, with a lot of things. We all use AI. I really do feel strongly, I'm telling you, it is best practice to have a full committee on it. If our office or our board decides to keep it as part of this committee, then I'd at least ask for a line item on every single agenda addressing what's going on, where the policies are. I think we need to approve the policies, stuff like that. And I'm not in any way second guessing that you're not doing the right thing, that staff isn't doing the right thing. It sounds right on, it sounds perfect, but we're responsible for it. So we need to be more involved in it. So I'd ask for a report on that at the next hearing, please, at the next meeting.
We can take that as an action item.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the second thing, much smaller, regarding the current fiscal year budget, is there any way we can also get a total budget on it? Because some things that say 0 for this year might have cost us, $1 million or whatever, $500,000. So I would like to know how much each project is costing along the way.
I thank you. And we're going to talk about that a little bit when we talk about our strategic plan as well. We are LACERA has made strides recently in our budget process. We we are still working on our maturity on that. So that is, we would like to provide that as well as tracking our spend on our budget so that not just what was authorized, but how it was spent. So we are working on improving that reporting and that tracking and it really, the challenge that we have now is that we have to rely on how things were identified in the past. Moving forward, that's a lot easier for us to do because we have a plan to capture our budget by project with more specificity. So I have no doubt we'll be able to do it moving forward. We will be challenged a little bit in terms of looking at historical. So we'll be diligently working on that. But I want to just preface that, not overpromise, but we'll certainly try. And I think, I think what you're really looking for is less about a specific number than a scope of magnitude.
Absolutely. And did you say maturity or majority?
Maturity.
Maturity. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for that explanation.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you. Thank you very much. This did bring up a lot of very good issues that we need to consistently be on top of. So thank you very much. And not hallucinate too much. That brings us down to item B, 2023 through 28 quarterly strategic plan update.
Yes, thank you. And I agree. I think that's the intent of some of the reimagining of the reports is exactly this, to have a good dialogue and engagement with all of you. So appreciate the questions. The strategic plan, we're excited about presenting the quarterly strategic plan. I know Norma, and thank you, Norma, for running the slides. I think she's pulling it up now. If we can go to slide 3, Norma, please. So if you recall the last quarterly report, we were tracking from an accountability perspective, kind of our milestones and how we're progressing through that. As JJ, Laura, and Kathy mentioned, we have several projects, but we want to make sure that we continue to stay focused on the 5 pillars, our strategic goals around the board of retirement approved strategic plan from 2023. So based on that plan and our 5 goals, we have about 100, and this is estimated about 105 milestones that we're going to be tracking. Of that, we have 51 in progress and 54 not yet started. And this is going to be kind of your pulse check in terms of how we're progressing through these, and especially in terms of where these lie as it relates to phases: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and closure. So you'll see this every quarter as a kind of again, a pulse check on how we're doing from a strategic planning perspective. I want to be able to level set also from a budgetary standpoint. So I'm going to pass it to Laura to talk about how we look at budget and our strategic priorities, and then transition to JJ on really looking at kind of a reintroduction to our 5 strategic pillars. So with that, Laura.
Thank you, Louis. So trustees, really what we're trying to show with this slide and the next slide that we're going to talk about is showing greater accountability for the cost of our strategic initiatives. So the estimates that are here are not, I want to just preface, are not complete. We really were, when we were imagining how we should hold ourselves accountable and help you hold us accountable. Obviously, the cost of what we're doing is critical. So we have our 5 strategic goals here: the superior member experience, innovation through technology, investing in people, compliance and enterprise risk management, and fiscal durability. And within those, there are several initiatives as we talked about. So for this fiscal year, what we could sort of identify as costs totals this almost $2,249,500. And that's broken down into software and tools for a little over $1 million, or 46%. And the primary cost associated with that is related to our digital strategy, 1.3, our business intelligence, 2.1, We also have a significant cost, also a little over $1 million related to our consulting services, and that relates to two goals as well, our member experience 1.1 and our compliance plan and program. And then we also have a small contingency amount of $25,000, and we have training that covers diversity, equity, inclusion or 3.1, as well as compliance plan and program 4.1. So these resources are noted are not our expenses, are not staffing costs. So we do plan to refine this further again as part of our budget process for next year, 26, 27. We have a plan to be able to really capture our the cost associated with our strategic plan as opposed to just our normal cost of doing business. So we'll be capturing that, reporting on that with more accuracy moving forward. But for today, we wanted to give you a sense of sort of how we were able to kind of identify it from notations and comments and from the current year budget. We also will be tracking our expenses with more detail, but it doesn't include staffing costs, which is something that we're looking at doing as well. So we've got one-time staffing costs, like we're not included in here that will be included in the future as temporary staffing costs to handle, for example, some of our technology improvements that are short-term. Some of generally our staffing costs are long-term. So it's a little bit challenging to figure out what's related specifically to a strategic plan, but everything is moving toward our mission for sure. But we'll be looking at how we can be more accountable in terms of the cost and spend for our various strategic plan initiatives as we move forward. So we wanted to really put this in here as a placeholder so that you know what to expect on a quarterly basis that we will be reporting to you.
Any questions on that?
JJ?
Okay, let's go to slide 6 then.
Mhm.
So looking at this, we wanted to take a moment and sort of take a step back and remind ourselves of what our strategic initiatives are, right? And so we have 5 of them. The superior member experience focuses on innovating and continuously improving the member experience by meeting members where they are through an omni-channel service delivery model that ensures that everybody gets the same great level of service no matter how they choose to interact with us. It talks about finding innovative ways to provide more member education and innovative ways to provide always greater access through online services. And finally, but vitally important, expanding and improving our retiree healthcare education and services. That's the superior member experience goal. Our second one is the innovation through technology, and this goal focuses on creating an enterprise-wide focus on leveraging technological solutions to advance our capabilities, both internally and member-focused. It talks about increasing productivity and elevating operational maturity. It's all about using technology to continually improve access and improve our processes across all measurable aspects of what we do. Investing in people is focused on making sure we attract, motivate, hire, and retain a highly engaged and skilled workforce. This includes developing and implementing a sustainable framework to promote and embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility. Investing in our people, who also include developing enterprise-wide training programs to encourage employee growth and development, and of course, focusing on creating a more efficient hiring process, and then a sound succession planning process to make sure that we're prepared for the future. Goal 4 is the compliance and enterprise risk management goal, and that's focused on adopting and implementing an enterprise-wide risk management framework and a strong governance and risk management compliance system. Goal 5 is the fiscal durability goal, which speaks to our duty to be good fiduciaries as we exercise care and prudence in managing all of our resources and fund assets. This includes sound management and ensuring that we have organizational support to meet LACERA Investment Office and Board of Investments strategic goals. Those are our 5. And that's what we think about every single day as we do what we do and as we service our members. So with this in mind, and each month we'll be presenting highlights on our progress towards meeting these goals. This month, we wanted to highlight the efforts made for our superior member experience goal. And I just wanted to point out that we've had some very productive meetings with Los Angeles County Human Resources Division managers, department managers, excuse me, they're department managers. And we are working on one of the key aspects, and I've mentioned this before, is creating an employer portal so that we can pre-register members for our LACERA. Once we do that, we can then establish our digital connection, which fits in with our digital strategy of being able to connect with their members right away. And so they're all in support of that. We've also gone through and created a number of surveys, which you'll be hearing about next month, that we'll be delivering to HR professionals throughout the county and through our members and internally to get a sense of what their experience is for our new hire journey, and that's our current journey. And the other one I wanted to highlight was the compliance and enterprise risk management. So I believe yesterday they approved the chief, and I'm going to get the title right. Can you go back one so I can get the title exactly right? The deputy chief. Oh goodness, what's the
Chief
EC?
Ethics and Compliance Officer.
Thank you. Good. It's a new one, so I have to get used to it. It's a mouthful. But the Board of Supervisors approved the classification, so we can move forward on that. So that's a really exciting step forward. So let's go to slide 7. So I wanted to highlight for our 4.1 Enterprise Compliance Plan and Program Milestone, culture of our organization is critically important. And we recently completed a culture survey to get a sense of where we're at. This was a survey developed by the Executive Office, Legal, Internal Audit, and HR. It was done organizationally wide. It was very successful. We had over 345 staff responses, which is a 67.5% response, which we're really proud of. The results of this survey we'll be taking a look at over the next several months. We did talk a little bit about it in our brown bag this month so that all staff know that we're focusing on this and their feedback to us is critically important. We will begin through November and December developing and finalizing a culture action plan based on what we've learned from the survey. And then in January, we'll do some survey responses, analysis, and present that action plan to the ACRE committee so that you're all involved in what we're moving forward to create the organization to make LACERA continue to make LACERA successful. And I'll turn it back to Louis, I think.
That concludes our highlight for the quarterly report, and team will take any questions.
All right. Anyone have any questions?
Okay.
You dazzled us, obviously. Thank you for that. Next, we're down to C, LACERA Way to Go prepaid MasterCard.
I'll sit over here.
Good afternoon, trustees.
Good afternoon.
1 second.
Turn up,
Yeah, push that. There you go. Now you're good. Yep. No, it's as soon as the red light's off. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
So push the green. There we go.
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon again.
Okay.
My name is Louis Gittins. I serve as the Benefits Division Manager. To my right is Shanita Peterson. She serves as the interim section head within Benefits. As many of you know, our preferred payment method for retirees is the direct deposit method, right? However, if members do not elect that, we end up sending them physical checks. One challenge is when natural disasters occur, retirees may have difficulty receiving payment by mail. There are other situations that we can discuss, but the solution, we believe, will help our members whether they reside locally or abroad, is the prepaid debit card. For clarification, Comerica Bank is the issuer of the Way to Go card, and another company called Conduent provides processing and customer service for these cards. They also handle disputes and monitor the transactions. Your board previously approved this vendor. Today, we'll cover the following. We'll provide background information. We'll discuss how the Way to Go card works from enrolling into the program to potential fraud, how we will support the members. For example, when does Conduent provide the support versus when does LACERA? We'll talk about our marketing campaign and the legislation behind this and the required courses of action we'll need to take. In 2023, your board approved LACERA's strategic plan, which we just discussed. Item number 1 of that plan is providing a superior member experience. And we believe this payment option contributes to this objective. And because of the collaborative efforts of the various LACERA divisions as well as Conduent, we can now offer this secure alternative to physical checks. So why is LACERA doing this? The short answer is it addresses the challenges reported by check recipients. Many of our peers, other retirement systems, require members to establish a direct deposit. Now, in order to establish a direct deposit, the bank requires that you have a US bank account and a US address. And here in Los Angeles, a lot of our retirees move out of the country when they retire. So direct deposit's not really an option for them. And now that you have countries that no longer honor checks drawn on a US bank. And you have countries that do honor checks, but now their mail delivery system is a little questionable. And delays can become an issue even for the members who reside here in the US. And this is exacerbated all in the wake of a natural disaster. So we spent a significant amount of time looking into the prepaid debit card option, and we've worked with Conduent as well as our information security team here at LACERA to ensure this truly is a secure alternative to physical checks. Now, at this time, I'd like to introduce you to the young lady to my right, Shanita Peterson. Shanita has served as the interim section head for the process management group since 2022. The process management group, or PMG, serves to drive change in LACERA's processes and work with external partners as well as divisions throughout LACERA to develop the future of our organization. In addition to overseeing this team, she led this project from its inception and has brought us to where we are today. So it is an honor to present to you, Shanita Peterson.
Thank you so much, Louis. I don't have a little red light, so
You're
everyone
good.
can hear me
You're good.
okay? Perfect. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, trustees. I will go ahead and proceed with the presentation by giving you providing information about the program enrollment and payment process. Next slide, please. The LACERA Way to Go prepaid MasterCard is completely voluntary. Our target audience will be payees that are currently receiving their monthly benefit via mail checks. Direct deposit will remain our primary method of payment. However, the Way to Go card program was implemented for those payees that are not necessarily comfortable with direct deposit, or some of the members and survivors who are unbanked. Next slide, please. The enrollment process for the Way to Go card consists of members, they can enroll via the My LACERA portal. They can give us a call here at LACERA, and they can also come down to LACERA and visit the member services counter downstairs to make a request to enroll into the program. Once we receive a request for enrollment into the program, any member or survivor that currently has email on file will receive an email confirmation. If they do not have an email confirmation on file, they will receive a paper confirmation that they did in fact contact LACERA to enroll into the prepaid debit card program. Once enrolled, they will receive an email confirmation as well as a paper check, a document that saying that they have in fact been enrolled, successfully enrolled. Next slide, please. LACERA staff will be responsible for inputting information into the Conduent administrative portal. Once that information has been placed into the system, this will generate a unique ACH account number that will be permanently linked to that prepaid debit card. Once that is done, LACERA will send out a benefit payment method change letter to the payee. Shortly thereafter, they will receive the card as well as the term of use document that will come directly from Conduent. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at our member support and service integration. Next slide. LACERA remains committed to the superior member experience. Anything that has to do with the benefit, the member's account here at LACERA, deductions, those will all come to LACERA. Anything that has to do with the functionality of the Way to Go card, as well as the Way to Go portal, that will go to Conduent's Customer Service Center. Both LACERA staff as well as Conduent staff have been trained to properly route those phone calls depending on the nature of the inquiry. Next slide, please. LACERA provides assistance through an escalation process here at LACERA currently. That now will include anything related to the Way to Go program. Any escalation is documented, logged, and tracked, and that information will also be included in the legislative reporting, which Lewis will address momentarily. Next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, the targeted audience for the prepaid debit card will be payees that are currently receiving a paper check. Excuse me. Due to the amazing efforts of the LACERA communications team, information has been provided through the Spotlight newsletter as well as LACERA's website, notifying members and survivors that a new payment option was in the pipeline. This group will receive an enrollment package, which, by the way, thank you so much for the feedback as it relates to the fees, the international fees. This has since been updated in both the letter as well as the brochure. And thank you so much for that feedback. This material, the enrollment package, will also include any information that is directly related to the fees as well as any services that are offered. This has all been put in place for our go live date of November 1st, 2025. Now I'll hand it back to Liz. Go ahead and complete.
All right, your board authorized staff's efforts to work with the legislature to develop AB 2474, which permits this method of payment. It's a pilot program that's set to end January 1st of 2028. To extend it, we will need to provide a report to the legislature by November of 2027. This report needs to contain the following. One is our reasoning. Why is this program necessary? Number two is the procedures we develop as part of the implementation. Thirdly, the number of retirees who elect each payment type. So that includes the direct deposit retirees as well as those who elect the Way to Go card. The cost of implementation and administration. And lastly, a summary of feedback from the retirees who elect the Way to Go card. To comply, Conduent will send us a monthly call center report so we can ensure they're meeting their answer times and our expectations. We're still discussing internally the steps required to ensure we capture and compile the other information in real time as we move forward. We also plan to submit all this information to the legislature well before the November 2027 deadline. So in conclusion, the reason that we're doing this is to meet our members' needs, just like we enjoy making our everyday purchases using our debit cards. If we can make life easier for members who maybe can't have a direct deposit, then we do owe this to our members. Since this is a pilot program, as we receive feedback from the members, we'll adjust and adapt within reason to ensure their satisfaction. If a member calls us with concerns about conduit, likewise, we have a feedback loop there as well. And we'll do all of this while remaining in strict compliance with laws and the federal regulations. And at this point, we'll stand for questions.
Bobby, go ahead.
Thank you. I wasn't around when this was developed, so I'm real interested in this. A clearly very creative solution for people that are encountering the challenges you guys have identified. I have a couple questions. When, say I'm enrolled in this program, do I still get a statement, a printed statement of some sort showing how what my pre-tax amount was? I mean, all the stuff that I get now in, in my email that comes to me, my report of every month kind of thing, where I show my deductions and what my starting thing was and how you got to the bottom line of what you're depositing in my adding to my credit card.
Yes, you will.
And is that by mail, or, I mean, is it going to encounter the same mailing issues, or are these people going to, as part of their enrollment, agree to receive this in an emailed form, or?
This program will mirror direct deposit. So any way that members are currently receiving direct deposit, the same will apply to the prepaid debit card. So, and if you want it just emailed, for example, I happen to be married to a retired deputy. So he receives his ADR is what is called via email.
Okay. And would we, I presume, I mean, whatever people choose is their own choice, but when you recognize that there are issues with people receiving snail mail, would we be encouraging folks that, hey, you're going to go this way, it's, so much quicker for you to get access to your money, you might want to also get an emailed version of your ADR so that you've got quicker access to that statement as well. It would seem to me that it kind of goes hand in hand. I don't know, but and then right now it's limited only to people that otherwise receive direct deposit, correct?
They're receiving a paper check.
I'm sorry, receiving a paper check.
Correct.
Is there, if it were to be approved after the pilot project, is it something that people might be able to opt into, even if they currently receive direct deposit?
Of course.
Okay. And then my final question is with respect to the legislation. The report is due at the end of November of 27, but the pilot project ends just 30 days later. So how does this work mechanically so that the pilot project doesn't end before the legislature receives the report that it needs in order to determine whether or not to extend it on a permanent basis?
So we'll start, I'll take that one. Our goal is to provide that report earlier. So as we see what the response is in 2026, because we're almost done with 2025, we'll begin working with Barry and working with our sponsor for this legislation and figure out a timetable for when we can start providing that information. But we do want to do it early enough so that the legislature can hopefully approve a continuance.
Okay, so it's not built into the existing legislation then. If we get the report to them by such and such a date, then it automatically extends. I mean, it currently has a terminating date. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Very innovative. Did you say that you're sending it out to all our members? Sending it in the letter to all our members?
There is a target audience.
Yes.
Who are the payees that are currently receiving a paper check.
Yes.
However, if a member that is currently receiving a direct deposit wants to enroll into the program based on the LACERA superior member experience, we will not deny that request.
Right. No. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Are you sending this notice to everybody or just to the 1,300 members that are getting paper checks?
Just to the 1,300.
Great.
Mhm.
Okay. And I didn't see a cost on this. What is this going to cost us?
There's not an actual cost to LACERA for this program. They will make basically make the return on the cost will come from the charges that are related to using this prepaid debit card, or the money. I'm sorry, I'm kind of tripping over my thoughts
That's okay.
right now. But basically the interest that'll be drawn on the money, basically, when we make the deposit. So there's no direct cost to LACERA. I don't know if JJ.
Well,
if you
yeah,
wanted
let me
to-
jump in there.
Yeah.
So, obviously, everybody probably knows that MasterCard and banks charge merchants fees, right? And that's where they make their money, right? So as people use this and people, go and shop at merchants, just like every time we use our debit card, we don't know this unless the merchant passes that along. And there are some merchants that pass that along to their customers. Arco does that, I believe, as an example. And so that's where they make that money. And of course, they're holding the money, and investing it like any other bank. Comerica is a bank. They're the ones that are responsible for managing the account that's assigned to this. And by the way, Louis mentioned the compliance. I just want to reiterate, this prepaid debit card they're required to meet all the federal requirements, right? So all of the same requirements in any other credit card has to meet. So the fraud protection requirements and so forth and so on.
So maybe I should ask, how much is this going to cost LACERA compared to mailing out checks? That's kind of my question.
So there is no direct cost to LACERA, which is a benefit. So theoretically, we'll save money if, well, actually, I take that back. We won't necessarily save money unless I can convince folks not to get the paper automatic deposit receipt.
Right.
But there will be savings on checks, right? It costs us more to mail out a physical check. There's our vendor that has it. The checks cost more because there's more security that's involved in that. So to answer your question, as part of our maturity process, we're not 100% sure, what that savings is going to look like, but there'll be some incremental savings, unless again I can get people not to get mail at all. We are working. This is just tangential to this. We're really working on trying to look at, a way to go green and, stop, or reduce mailing as much as possible. I gave a member operations group a project to come back by December, I think it was, on recommendations on how we can, cut our mailing costs and move people to a more green, alternative if they will do so.
Will it lighten LACERA's load by not having to, people wise, like internal working wise?
Not really. The one benefit I can see that might happen is we get a small number of calls every month for lost checks. So, hopefully we'll see a reduction in that because once you have the card, you're not going to have a lost check problem. But the same staff that would normally set up the account is going to be doing this. So like if you were to submit your direct deposit application for us, same group is going to be inputting that data. So there's not going to be, a measurable savings there.
Got it. Thank you very much.
One of the things I really would like to point out is it really is for the members' benefit. I've got folks that live in some foreign countries. I can't pay right now. New Zealand won't take checks. Nothing I can do about that. I've had a gentleman in India, not sure if we still have this problem, for many, many years. Every month he would call me and say, I didn't get my check. We'd mail it to you. And then we have delays here that routinely are happening with the U.S. Postal Service. And so there's been some times where people didn't get their checks until the middle of the month, and we mail them out before month end. So that it's supposed to come right around the time. So hopefully it's going to address those issues.
Okay. Anyone else? I have a question just from a mechanical point of view. So I'm a retired public health nurse and I'm living in Manila. And I decide to use this card and I have to pay my rent. How do I access the money off of that card to pay my rent?
So that's a good question. So you could give your landlord the card number, just like if you were using your debit card, right? And I'm not sure if they have portals.
I'm not sure
Right?
many
But you could do it
landlords
that way.
take debit cards.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I'm
can do
wondering.
that
Yeah.
way. You can withdraw the money. You can, one of the things you can do here is you can transfer the money from this account to your local bank.
Okay.
Right? Right now, it's something an international person can't do. You know, there's a few banks which will allow international, which will sort of like do a direct connection between the foreign bank and the American bank, but you still have to have that American bank account,
Mhm, mhm,
right? And a lot of our members don't have that
mhm.
address here, so they're not able to get that bank account.
Great. Thank
But
you.
other than that,
Yeah.
oh, the other way you can do it is they have a portal. Conduit has a portal which they
Mhm.
can go in, and just like any of you that use your debit card or your credit card to set up automatic payments,
Mhm.
you can do that through there.
Oh, okay. All right.
I can add something.
Yeah.
They can also associate that card to a local Zelle or Gcash, what they
Okay.
call it over there.
All right.
And that's how they would do that.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
That's
Chris.
good information. All right. Anyone else? Anything else? I think you did it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Very
much. Have a
informative.
wonderful afternoon.
You too. And that brings us down to D, privacy incidents, personally identifiable information. That was for information only. If no one has any questions, we'll just accept that. I don't see any. Items for staff review. I think, do we have one?
The
Yeah.
AI items on the
To make AI,
operations
yeah, AI
briefing,
will be
line
a
items.
line item on every agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the operations briefing or on just on the committee? Okay. Oh, I got it. Or a committee. Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay, go to the order. Anyone have anything they want to add?
I just one thing, I know that you're gonna do
Yeah.
the, they're gonna try to reduce, be more green, but I think the newsletters maybe can be excluded from that, because I look forward to the newsletters every quarter that we get mailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that comes up frequently. I don't think hopefully we'll never get to the point where everything is email, because you are right. It's great to have those things sitting in your inbox, waiting for you to read them. But sometimes when they show up in the US mail and it sits on your coffee table for a day or two, they tend to get picked up and read. We go through the same thing in other organizations I'm involved with. So I hear what you're saying and you're right. I know I see them both, but I tend to pick up the spotlight when it drops in my mailbox. So yeah, point well made. So thank you.
We have
Anyone?
a closed session item?
Do we have a closed session item? I guess we do. As a matter of fact, so we will, if there's no other go to the order, we'll adjourn the open meeting and convene into executive session.
We just need to clear the room.
Yeah, I have a question. I'm not a member of this committee. Should I leave?
can-
No,
you can
you're
stay.
good.